It's amazing to me when you can take music and a movie and just blend it together and just get a whole entire symphony of a soundtrack where the movie itself is not only a huge trip, but the music is what makes the movie in its whole entirety. Not just that, but it's heavy metal at its finest, specifically in the early 80s like this. Late 70s to the early 80s, where the whole entire movie itself, where you take all sorts of different tracks from artists such as like Black Sabbath, Blue Oyster Cult, Grand Funk Railroad, Cheap Trick, Journey, Nazareth, Devo, Sammy Hagar, who did the theme song for the movie, self-titled in its own. I praise the soundtrack enough, because it is to me one of my favorite soundtracks for any film, but all the great artists who came together for this particular movie to compile just to give music like this for this fucking movie, where literally each song in its own fit the stories that were being told, where all of it combined together as one, and I shall explain to you all a little heavy metal for you all. Now, the thing is that the movie is all over the place with various stories, where it goes from just different dimensions throughout the entire world that the film is set in. Now, it travels to modern day space age, futuristic New York City, chicks with big ass tits, hot as hell, good looking, riding on fucking griffins and carrying big swords, sexy ass BDSM dominatrix like outfits, fighting crime, looking good, Adam and Eve type story, Jurassic Park, fucking dinosaurs, pterodactyls, space, Alone, monsters, Doom, you name it. There was just so much crazy shit going on with this movie, and you had a lot of interesting actors and actresses to voice said various characters in this film, with John Candy being a prime example. Now, the thing is, with all the different stories and themes and theatrics going on throughout the entire picture, there was a common ground where there was a connection. It was a thing called the Loch-Nor. If you want to know what the Loch-Nor was, it is the green sphere balls that shows powers, past, present, future, invincibility, where you can either love it or hate it. You can worship it like it's the greatest thing on earth, or you can just hate it and talk a bunch of blasphemy and just saying it's the worst fucking thing imaginable. But it all depended on the story and how the characters interacted. And let's just say it was just a time sequence of events that was going on throughout the entire movie, where you saw where you saw a lot of these characters just talking with each other, where it leads from a simple job where you're traveling into space and you're just going into being a taxi driver, or you're just seeing this Adam and Eve scenario, or you're seeing a whole entire futuristic like galaxy in its own play, a city just on its verge of collapse. You see fucking, like I said, big bosom ass women who are riding griffins, and you got all sorts of just weird, bizarre creatures in its own right. Like I said, pterodactyl ghosts, and the colors and vibrant scheme in this film being hand drawn and with the way it was styled. Really good, really trippy stuff. Now, for anybody out there who has done marijuana or cannabis or just anything in general with that, if you end up having a trip, well, this is the type of trip I'm sure anybody would probably come up with. I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the directors who ended up coming with this movie ended up having an LSD trip or something and got this idea for this movie. But then again, that's just a fan assumption. But the movie itself I think, is awesome in its own right. And now, like I said, is the story fantastic? It's, like I said, it's a bunch of stories that's going on all over the place, and the voice acting for the audio is really good. But what keeps the engagement throughout the entire movie, especially with the fact that all the scenes and the stories that were really just going all over the place and everything, a lot of the songs that were from each artist, where it fit into said scene, set to a particular narrative where it's going, I really love how the music literally played such a good fucking indication that it's going to lead into something serious or something very trippy or something just wild. Because a lot of the bands, obviously, when you listen to any sort of heavy metal band, you're going to get yourself an experience when you listen to a song off a particular record or just a single its own in your stash. But all these songs in this movie that each artist gave their own right into putting in, or just anybody or the producers taking the song and putting in its own for each scene, it sets it up what the narrative is, and it's really good. Like, taking music and turning it into its own creative point for each scene in each direction, it's fantastic. Like, it puts you on a trip without even actually doing anything, and that's what I like about this film, is that it's a trip where you get set up, it sets the tone, it sets the mood, and not only does the song just play the introduction for the scene, but also throughout the whole through the whole scene you're watching, you're getting yourself an experience. Like, you're seeing the tones and the moods and where it's leading up. If it's going to be fucking hell on earth, if it's going to be a war, if it's going to be a confrontation, if it's going to be a fucking some sort of just, you know, or romantic story. Just a lot of different things going out throughout the entire movie that each song, that each band was given a contribution for, sets it up. Again, once you start watching, when you hear the theme song Heavy Metal go into it, you're in for a wild ride. And that's what this movie is. It's literally a wild ride. It's a fucking trip. It's LSD gone wrong, gone right, or whatever, or if you're fucking cheesing. Have you seen South Park? Yeah, Heavy Metal was a big contribution for that fucking show. Specifically that episode where cheesing became a thing. Parody in its own and whatnot. But I digress with that. So, Heavy Metal, the movie itself, the animation is trippy. It's really, really good. The style itself is great. The voice acting and the selection of actors and actresses who were played for said characters, whether supporting or leading and whatnot, really good. The story is all over the place. Various different things going on where it's all sorts of themes and tones. And the music, obviously, soundtrack kicks ass. The film itself is a really, really just... It's fun. It's a fun, enjoyable experience. Now, obviously, one of the big characters that I enjoyed was the one in the poster right there, who was, to me, one of the biggest badasses and highlights in the entire film. So, for me, Heavy Metal is a film that I mean, it's an awesome film. It does have a little bit of its flaws, like I said, stories all over the place, but tries to stick with a direction. But it's a fun movie. It's a fun film. It's awesome. It's badass, and there's a lot of unique things going on, and it's just a fun watch overall. So, Heavy Metal was a film that I gave a 4 out of 5 to. I really dig the hell out of this movie a lot. It's interesting. It's a really interesting movie. So, with that being said, folks, that's going to have to do it for my little talk on this film. And with that being said, what are your thoughts about it? And ciao for now.